Good afternoon, everyone who are joining for now. We'll wait for another minute or two so that other participants could join in, and then post that we'll start the discussion today. Bear with us for 2 minutes, please. So I think we should start.
Yes.
So good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the third edition of NASSCOM SME Centrestage Series Talk. The topic for today is on how tactical moves to win global customers. This program aims to bring on stage the founder and the CEOs of very successful tech organizations. These enterprising entrepreneurs will be sharing their journey and key learnings with fellow community members today. It is our utmost pleasure to host each one of you today and provide you with an exclusive opportunity to interact and learn from the champions of the SME community and their recipes of success. Today we have with us Uma Venkatraman. She is the moderator of the session today. She is a marketing professional with experience in FMCGs, banks, turned tech and entrepreneur. She founded IXSight Technologies in 2007. Commercial operations started in 2010. She serves as a CEO of a company based in Mumbai and Pune. IXSight is a leading provider of data engineering and data science solutions to the global customers. She is also an esteemed member of NASSCOM SME Council representing the Western region. She has been a great contributor and great support in supporting the market access programs at NASSCOM, and it is indeed a real pleasure for us to have you with us today. I'll request Uma to take over the stage today and introduce our esteemed speaker, Siddharth Pandey. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Jagrati, for that very, very wonderful introduction. And I'm truly excited to be here today and participate in this session and talk to Siddharth. So let me introduce you to Siddharth, or Sid as he is known. He's an entrepreneur by profession, technologist by interest, and humane by choice. He loves to travel and meet new people. And this is going to be very important for a salesperson. He likes to exchange ideas, talk about technology, mindfulness, cognizance, and sports are his other passions. And during the time when he's not working, he spends time with family, plays cricket, and does cycling. Now comes the interesting part. He believes in PhD. In fact, he's a doctorate in passion, hunger, and discipline. These are the things he's going to come back again and again. And he follows the same for his professional and personal life goals. He started the company out of recession in early 2011 and 12, and he has absolutely no background in business and at that time no capital either. He had just a laptop, an internet connection from home, and he loved to code. He still loves to code. He started working as a freelancer for a company in the US, and since then he's never looked back. Today, he's grown the company to, in fact, 900 plus people in the last 8-9 years, with Fortune 500 companies as his clientele in IT services, consulting, and end-to-end software development. He thinks that all and anything can be achieved if you have a team that believes in your vision and who can work with you with all honesty and hard work. Even though your team does not have the experience, if they have intent and focus, everything is achievable. Be there with them when they need you, work with them, celebrate with them, and solve the problems with them. And that is how he has grown his company. His company's name is Successive Technologies. You would think he has already named success in his name, right? So it's a very large company. They have won a lot of awards. They are in cloud consulting, migration, DevOps, enterprise content management. We are going to hear more from Siddharth. The focus today is how to win customers, how to pitch to customers, how to recruit salespeople, and more about his journey and his secret recipe for success. Welcome, Siddharth.
Great. Thank you so much, Uma, for this wonderful introduction.
Yes.
So, and thank you everyone for joining this session. I'll try to talk about whatever I have done in these years and how it helped me more rather than giving some thoughts from my learning and all. That will not be there, but I'll talk more about the experience and what all I have done to reach here and what helped me out. So it may help you guys as well. If you want to try, you can try, and I'm always reachable whenever you guys want.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot some
Great.
questions at you, Siddharth. Siddharth is very
Yep.
unassuming. I had the opportunity to talk to him for some brief 20 minutes in our last meeting. And I must tell you that his story is something that is really inspiring, and everybody should hear every word of his. My first question to you, said, give some insights into your entrepreneurial journey and what made you start Successive Technologies.
Okay, great. So as you just said that the company was founded out of the recession in 11-12. So I passed out from the college in 2009-10. And then I was placed in a multinational company. But due to the recession, I was not getting the joining date, right? So it was being extended by the company. So, and then I was fond of coding since my school days. I took computer science in my 11th and 12th as well. And then all my graduation and everything else, my focus was only to code and how I can build software, right? So that was there. And then when I did not get the joining, I started doing something on my own at my home. Again, the best part of computer science and IT services and software development company is you don't need any investment. It is just a laptop and internet connection and you can do anything. So I just followed my passion and I started working on some of internal small web application softwares and all. And I was enjoying that because that is what I know and I wanted to do. And then later on, I found that there is a startup who is looking for some good coding people. So I applied for that. There were only 2-3 people, and I joined it, and I started working there in 2011, 10-11. And then the 4 or 5 people company, and then after working there for 1.5-2 months, it was going good, and then suddenly we got an email from the owner of that company that he wants to shut it down. He's moving out of India and somewhere else. So everybody started looking out for another job. But the project I was working on in that company, it was a healthcare client from US, and I was enjoying the work because it's pure coding, and the client was very good. He was also a technologist, and I had a very good thought process and sync with that person. So since the company was going to close and the owner was moving out of India, so I went to him and I asked that since you are closing this anyway, can you give me this project, because I know there is a lot of work and I can work on this on my own. So he agreed and he gave me that account with the client and all. So I started working with that client on my own through again from my home. So nothing was there. There was no intention to start a company, or although I was just waiting for my joining with that MNC, and I was just working with this client till then. But after working with him for 3-4 months, 5 months, all was going good. So he asked me that if you can add few more people at your end, because you know the core, you have been working with me from past 4-5 years. We both enjoy working together and all sort of things. So if you can add a few more people there, because the product is growing and all that stuff. So I said, okay, let me try. So I messaged a few people, and again, that time was recession time. People were looking for something to start. So I got 2-3 people interested in this project, and then we all started working. Again, all was going through home. So similarly, it started growing, right, that account. And then I thought, okay, let's take a small office, one room set type of thing, and we all will work there. So we all started working from that small home come office type of thing. And then it was going good. Then we added more people. So 4, 5, 6, 7 people. And then I thought, let's continue it. In between, I got the joining from that company, and I went to that company, but they told me that currently they don't have a coding position. So they will give me something related to data. So I said, no, I will quit. I will continue with what I was doing. So I came back, I again started with that, and everything was going good. And then that person, that client gave me some references. That account also was growing. So I started adding people, right? And that is how it all started in 2011, late 2011, 12. I got the company registered in 2012. And since then, we were trying to deliver things to the clients, whatever we were getting. And it was all growing. I mean, there was no salespeople, there was no marketing. We don't even have a website at that time. It was just one pager, what we created. But the only thing which I focused, because I come from the technology background, I was only focusing on the engineering part, that how to deliver better products to the clients or whatever requirements we were getting. That was the only focus. And until now, we only focus on the product engineering rather than sales, account management, BA, and other stuff. Of course, those are necessary, but engineering is the main focus. That is what we do. So that is how all started. And yes, we are doing good. We have grown to a very decent team size now, revenue size now. We are dealing with a lot of complex and mission critical projects with all our clients around the world. So it is a inner happiness, you can say, that what I feel after delivering things to the clients, and when we get appreciations and those products goes live and are being used by the customer. So all those things are very good. And again, it gives the energy and everything else to do more, right? So that is how it all started. But yeah, everything is good now. All the struggle has gone, but still we try to grow as much as we can and help the customers, the clients, and everything.
Thanks, Sid. I think there were some interesting other points in your career. I think you might want to touch upon it later, because I remember you telling us the story of how you stayed back with your the person who had employed you, and 1 month you spent day in, day out, 24/7 learning the ropes.
Yeah.
And you want to just
so that person, I still remember. I mean, when I asked him that if you can give me this project, so he was like, what do you want to do? I said, I want to work currently. I don't know what I want to do, but this project is good and I am really enjoying working it. So I don't want to leave it. So he said, okay. Then he told me, okay, let's work together for 1 to 2 weeks, and I will tell you that how you need to do the other stuff other than coding. Because once you are going to work with the client directly, you need to understand that how to provide milestones, how to provide the estimations, the requirement analysis, how to take the money and all those stuff. I mean, I did not know anything because I was just passed out of college. I did not work for any corporate job, any company, anything else. So I don't know how to get the money from US to India in my bank account. So actually he helped me a lot, and I still remember, and I respect him a lot. He gave that push to me. He gave that all understanding of, he was like 6-7 years of experience at that time. So he gave all that experience of how to run things with overseas clients or any client, right? So all that experience in like 1 month, day and night, we were working 18 to 20 hours a day. But those were very good days. I still have a lot of learning from those days, which I applied, and it worked out. So everything was great, and that person helped me a lot, gave me a lot of understanding, and it was very nice experience.
Yes. Okay, so Sid, we'll go to the next question. So basically, Sid was passionate about coding. He didn't care about anything but coding. And I think that led him from one thing to another. So now we'll come to customers. So who was your first customer, which you mentioned healthcare, but unless you want to take some other specific names. Second question is, what was the largest deal in your company, and what strategy you pursued to make it happen?
Correct. Okay, so on this, before that, I'll tell you a few more things. So when we started working, we were getting multiple opportunities, right? And again, the only focus was how to do a POC with that person, with that client, and try to build something for them and show them, and then extend it from there. because we did not know how to create sales pitches, decks, and all those stuff. Again, I was not from any marketing or MBA college. I just know that how to code. So my only pitch to all the customers whenever we were getting some opportunities, some connect, some referrals, was that tell me the requirement, I will build something for you and I'll show it to you. And if you like, then we can take it forward. So initially the marketing pitch was, the sales pitch was, we'll not charge anything. We'll try to build something for you. If you see a value in that, if you think that we are delivering something and it is working out for you, then we can continue and we can start the agreements and invoices and other things. So that was the only way out, because there was a lot of companies who were pitching, and again, every time whenever I go into a sales pitch or opportunity, every person asks, why you? Why not other people or other companies? So the only thing, the differentiation and the USP, the niche was, we can help you build something, and once you feel that we are delivering something or adding a value, then only we can start the process, or else we can part ways. There is nothing to lose for you. So that was the only thing which I tried. So I'll tell you a story of how we got our first Fortune 500 client. So the only thing which we were doing in 2012 was doing some freelancing stuff, or going to freelancing websites and bidding for the projects. But since the technology was the only core focus which we knew the best. So what we tried was, we were starting creating some technical forums accounts and groups and channels where we can go and reply the problems which the people were facing into technology. Whatever we can do, we'll try to help them, because that is what we know, right? So we created multiple groups, we created multiple technical forums accounts, and we started taking the problem statement from there, and we were solving it internally in our night time or weekends or whatever, whenever we were getting time, and we were posting it. So we got, and then the second strategy what I applied was, rather than going into technologies like Java, .NET, or some very predefined technologies, I mean, which is coming from, which are legacy technologies, rather than going into that, let's pick some niche, because there are a lot of companies. If I go and pitch for a Java project, right? So Java is a 20 years old technology, right? There are a lot of companies which are already working on Java, and they have specialities, expertise, and good people there, right? If I go into Java, I have a lot of competition. But if I choose a niche, a technology which is just like 5 years old or 6 years old or 2 years old, which is coming up, right? The best thing again in computer science and IT services is it's ever changing thing, right? A change is the only constant, which people say. And every day, every month, every week, you get new frameworks, you get new technologies coming up. So I started picking up the niche things. Niche things means something which is coming up, right? Or something which is complex, which is not everybody is doing. So I did some research over the internet, and I shortlisted a few things out of it, and I started working on it. So like one of the frameworks we started in 2013, 14 was D3.js, Node.js, React.js, all those stuff. Those were very new initially, right? Node.js was like 4 years old at that time. So we started picking those things, and we were trying to build our expertise, POCs, boilerplates, and all those stuff into those technologies, and joining the technical forums of those technologies where people were facing problems, or if they are posting something that I am facing this problem into this technologies, can somebody solve this, like Stack Overflow, and there are multiple forums, right? So I joined those forums, and I started picking up some problems from there, and I started solving those things. So one of the technologies we picked up was D3.js. It is a charting library. It's a very complex charting library currently available in the market. So we picked up that, and we started doing a few things here and there, POCs and all stuff. We were trying to invest time and understand how it works and build a few things. And then we joined a group, a Google group of D3.js. And then we found that there was one problem somebody posted. We picked that problem, and we tried solving that problem. We spent 2 weeks into that problem, but still we were not 100% there. So I went back to that Google group. I posted that, okay, I have solved this 50%, but I don't think it is 100% there. So it was good. And then that person who posted that issue connected with me and then explained me a bit more about the use case and how can we. So he was also solving and we were also solving. So we started in a collaboration way and we would try to solve that problem. So we invested over a month. After a month, we got to know that, okay, 80% problem is solved. And that person was so happy and he told me that can you continue working on this? I said yes, but I need to understand that what is the engagement and where it will go, because we already invested 1 month. So he said, let me connect you to somebody. So he sent an email that time, and I got to know that he is engineering manager at Nokia. So earlier we did not knew that he is from Nokia, because it was a Google group. So he was using his Gmail ID or something. So I thought, okay, so the Nokia's procurement team connected with us and they asked me that you are working on this project and this guy, engineering manager, is happy with your work. So we want to onboard you. So provide us your documents and let's onboard you and start working on this. So that is how we got our first client, for first 500 client. But that also has a story. The Nokia team told us that you are not eligible as per your documents to be onboarded into Nokia. So I said, okay. So I went back to that engineering manager. I sent him an email that they are not onboarding us, so probably we have to quit. So he was so nice to us. He sent me some money that keep working on, let me try. He sent some money from his own pocket. So that was the engagement and relationship we had with him. And then he sent an email to procurement team that onboard them, they're good and all. But then they again came back to us and said that we cannot onboard you, but you can be onboarded as one of our vendors vendor. So maybe that can work for you. So I took some time, but I replied them that, okay, I would like to quit. I can't do this, because how can we grow then? I cannot use Nokia in my clientele if we go that way. So he said, okay. So that again, engineering manager, then he shared his VP's contact and all those stuff were done. And then somehow they onboarded us. And since then we are working with them. So 2014, we got our first client, which is Nokia. So that was the story. So yes, the learnings what I got was that choose your niche, because if you go into things which is too old or big, or languages which are like 10 years old, 20 years old, you won't be able to get into that because there are a lot of competitors already available. So choose your niche and create your USP. So USP was, again, what we tried and finalized was, okay, focus on engineering, focus on technology, how to solve problems, and go and solve the things. So we got Nokia from just a Google group, which is uh, very different. I mean, there was no sales pitch, there was no deck, there was nothing. So, but we tried to solve the problem with that person, and now we are working with them since last 6-7 years. So that is how it all started.
Okay.
And coming to the largest customer, so one of the client we have, which is world's second largest media and advertising company. So we are working with them, and we have around 200 plus people team with them. So that is our biggest customer. And the story for that was, so similarly, as I said, the niche thing helped us there as well. So we picked up another framework called Meteor.js. That was a framework built on JavaScript. And it was launched in 2015 or so. So we picked up that framework and we started working on it. We also registered as a partner with that framework on their website as well, because it was very new and we were only a few of the companies who started working with them initially. So one of the person from UK, they connected with us. That was a very small 2 people company. They connected with us and asked us to help us on this Meteor.js framework because they were using it. And they got our reference from the website of Meteor.js, where we were listed as one of their partners. And then we started again working with them on a small thing. It was a very small product which they were building. And we helped them for like 4 or 5 months. And again, the relationship was very good. We helped them whatever we know. We also learned from our customers. That was also one thing. It was not like we were very expert into everything. Yes, we did a lot of mistakes. We tried, but we never left the customer in between. We always tried without thinking of whether they will give us the money or not, whether the solution will go on or not. So all those stuff was never in our mind or thought, or the revenue, profits, everything else. We were not thinking about that. So we were just trying to build something with the customer or trying to solve the problems, because technology was the passion, and everybody whom I was hiring, I was imparting the same thing, that let's focus on solving the problem, whatever we get from the customer. Revenue, profits will build later. That is not a problem. So we worked with that person for 5 months on a small product, and uh, then it was done. The project was closed, and then we were okay. And then we were working on something else. The project was done. After 1 month, he again connected with us, and he told me that, okay, I have joined this company, which is world's second largest video advertising company, and I want to work with you guys because I really liked working with you in that small product stint which we did. So I said, okay. So he introduced us there. He joined there as engineering director of engineering and all. And he introduced there for the product which he was going to build for that company. It was a complete media ecosystem which he wanted to build there. So we were introduced there, and then there was a panel sitting with three companies on the table in the last round. So one was us, second was Cape Gemini, and third was another big company, right? And then the panel asked me one question. Okay, tell me one thing. Why should we go with you? We have more bigger companies which with processes and everything else, and we were very small at that time. So, and then you also don't have that kind of credentials, etc. So I said, yes, I understand. But what can I say here is the stack which you are choosing, again, the niche held us here. The stack which you are choosing, which is end-to-end JavaScript, right? It is Node.js, React.js, APIs, cloud infrastructure, and all those are something very new, right? So in these technologies, I am having the same experience what the other companies does, because those technologies are just 5 years old. It is not a 20 years old technology, right? And we are official contributors to Node.js. You can find our name there. We are doing a lot of meetups. We are doing a lot of technology forums, summations of questions and answers, and all those stuff. Which that was the thing which we had, and the other companies may not have. We were speakers to a lot of JS sessions in US, UK, and everywhere else. So we presented all those stuff to them. So one of the things when we picked the niche, it was not only the solving the problems on the technology forums. We were doing meetups as well. We were doing a lot of sessions as well. Whatever we know, we're trying to pass it on to the community. We were trying to do a lot of open source contributions. We were trying to build a lot of boilerplates and other stuff, and we were making it open source in the community. So our name was there in everything. So people were connecting us as well. So we got a lot of traction from there as well. So again, so I pitched this thing to them because that is what I know. So and then the last thing I told them that give us some work, test task type of thing, and and evaluate that work, whatever we deliver to you, and then to do it with other companies as well. So if you find our code to be good and as per the standards, and if everything is right, we should be given a chance. So they said, okay. And they gave us a 1 month test task to do. So we did that and everything went well. But again, the procurement team came back and told us that you are not eligible because our revenue was not up to that level. The certifications, what they were needing, risk analysis. They hired Dun and Bradstreet DNB to do a risk analysis on our company, whether we can give this big project to this company. What is the risk in that? So DNB did a complete risk analysis and came back to them and said that you cannot give this project to them because they are very small. I don't know whether they can do the justice or not, but you can give a small portion of the project. So I said I am okay with the small portion as well. I will prove myself and then I can take more. So we only got a small portion with around 5-7 people, team members, which was needed at that time. So we started with that, but we grew the team to 200 people now in 4 years. So because nobody else was able to deliver the things with that speed, with that quality, and with that delivery. Because again, and every SME will have this edge over the bigger companies, because the decision making, the speed, the discussion, and everything else is less here as compared to bigger companies, because they have multiple layers of authorization, approvals, and etc. to take any decision. But here I can take multiple decisions very quickly and solve the problems and move forward. And in nowadays, companies are moving towards this, that how can we reduce the time to market, how can we build things which is generic in nature, which can be used in multiple ways. So that is all what we did there. So that is how we won our largest customer.
Yeah, thanks, Sid. I think you started off saying I only know technology, but I think you have an inborn understanding of what can work. And
Yeah.
while you said you stuck to a niche, you're also telling us that, well, you are there in the groups, forums, that's marketing, right? You're there in the tech
Yep.
meets. You're creating a brand for yourself silently. So I think that's one of the key takeaways, at least I've had. And you didn't worry about the result. You were focused on the efforts and
Yes.
focused on community sharing and giving. So it all worked in your favor. So what goes around
Yes.
comes around. So thank you so much. I have another question for you here. Of course, you said your earlier pitch was to focus on niche areas. I don't know whether the pitch nowadays has changed, and if you can throw some light on that, because digital
No.
transformation is the kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So still the niche is the only focus, because again, as technology is ever changing, as I told you, so new things are coming up every day and it is getting better, right? So if you talk about cloud, there are new things. Serverless is coming up, Kubernetes is coming up, which is very, very good. And it is very optimized. It helps in the speed optimization of the application and everything else. So people have to move there, right? There is no other way. So we are just picking up new things and trying to build expertise on those things to get more clients, to get more understanding, and to get our name into the market. And that is how everything is moving.
You still say that you don't need to pay me, you try us and pay us, or I
Yep,
understood the
sure.
pitch. Yeah, you still do that?
Yes, of course. That is the only way out.
That's
And
the only way out.
you have to have confidence on your team and yourself in your company. You can only say this once you have that confidence, and you don't worry about the revenue and profit, right? Recently I was in US last month, and we did 2-3 pitches there, and one is the fintech company, listed company in US, and they really liked what we have done in the past and all the projects and clients, and again the same pitch, and it worked out. So they gave us a test task, we delivered it, and now we are working with them for a $1 million project.
Oh.
So it all
But I
works.
think some of the problems have gone away now because you're large enough. So in the risk analysis, you would not have to worry
Yes,
about it.
yes, that is there. So that all helped, and we added a lot of stuff to what we got the understanding from these bigger, working with these bigger companies. So we did all the certifications, firewall, security, SOC 2, all those stuff has to be done to get into these fintech and financial institutions.
Okay. So now on the other side, so your own sales team, as you grew, you wanted to employ a sales team, reach newer
Right.
geographies. So what is your key market strategy, or how did you enter these new markets? And what do you look for when you hire a sales team? What kind of people you hire, and where do you look? How do you get them?
Yeah, so sales team, what I would say here is initially until now, I try to build the sales team whom I know, right, rather than hiring somebody unknown from the market. And when I say whom I know, since I did not work in any company, any corporate experience, I don't have. So again, lesser you work in other companies, lesser connections you have, right? So I try to build my clients as my brand ambassadors and use them to help us grow the sales. The relations and referrals, that is the only thing worked for us in last 10 years, more than getting into new accounts and doing all the business development and then pitching. Rather, we go to the clients and ask them for referrals and relations, whatever. And then few of the clients, like when you start working, you have multiple types of client. One is like you work with startups, you work with SMEs, you work with small companies, you work with Fortune 500, Fortune 100, different companies. But when you work with startup, when you work with small companies, there are only like 5-10 people in the company, or let's say sometimes one person as well. So we got a lot of requests initially in 2012-13 that a lot of startups coming up, and some idea was there and they wanted to build something. So we helped them. And after building that product for them, we were in touch with them. So once that product was working fine, sometimes we got the news that that person has sold that company and he's looking for something else. So again, the relations and reference. So I asked them, can you help me grow the North America side of business? Can you help grow the London or the UK side of business? So wherever the people were, I tried reaching out to them, because that was the only thing I had. So few of the people agreed to do that, and we did the partnership with them, and they started working for us. It was like they were trying to sell our services into the North America local market, and they were getting some leads they were passing on to us. I mean, we were working as a team. So mostly, if you see my sales team, it is people whom I know, the clients. We did a lot of JVs, joint venture with the companies. For example, they were a company whom we helped, which was into different domain. For example, they were into marketing. They don't do the software development, they do marketing stuff. So we did a JV with them, that when you're getting a client who wants the services in marketing, and if they, let's say, if they want some development work as well, you can introduce us there. So the JVs helped us a lot, the partnership helped us a lot, and reaching out to the clients for the relations and referrals helped us a lot. So the sales, rather than building a sales team, I built sales channels, right? So all these channels were giving me multiple opportunities, and we were trying to build the things. And once you build the things and you deliver the work for all these clients and partners, they start getting more and more work for you, because now they know that, okay, if we can deliver, and they know us better than anybody else, right? So reaching out to them was my first intention and first priority always, and still I do that. So a lot of people I hired in the company on the leadership level are again from my clients only. So so this was the strategy from the sales time.
Thank you so much, Sid. I'm sorry, my camera is having a bit of a problem. So I'll just try to
No,
fix that. Yeah, in the meantime, yeah, so Sid, you spoke about the sales team structure and what qualities you look for. Now I want to go on to the next question. Successive Technologies has received numerous awards in the HR space as well.
yes.
So now we are going to focus on the entire team that you have, the entire uh, team members, which include technology, which include sales, which include operations, and all kinds of people. So how do you invest in your people to stay ahead of the curve, and how has it helped you in maintaining a high growth rate?
Yeah, great. So when coming to the people and the team is very important for any company to grow. Doesn't matter in which domain or what they are doing, but whatever it is, team has to be there. You can't do anything with your own. So on the team side, again, I was building the team, and I was imparting the same vision and thought process what I was having. I mean, CEO for me is not chief executive officer; it is chief everything officer. You have to do everything. So that was the only thing I was imparting in the team, and then creating that entrepreneurial spirit into the team. That rather than being in the show, try to run the show. If I can do things, I don't have any experience of running a company initially when I started. So same was the other people who joined me. So rather than taking the decision myself, I included them into the decisions, and let's see how can we solve a problem together. So pushing that entrepreneurial spirit, making them running the show rather than being in the show, creating a core group, again, be connected with them, help them, work with them, live with them rather, and then consider yourself, even myself, as a part of the team, not above the team. all these things and all these values initially worked for us, and the core group still we have is very strong. They started with us and they are still with us. Then being open and transparent with them, help them grow, invest in their upskilling, treat them as your partners rather than employees. One thing we do in Successive, we never call people as employees. They're all team. So employees is not the word we use. It's always team. So team is the only thing which can take you from one way to another. I mean, you have to invest in them. Then we came up with a lot of things like Founders Club, which we have built. So where whosoever is eligible, so there is an eligibility criteria. So if you are eligible, you can join the Founders Club, and Founders Club is like, I have created a club with multiple benefits, which we give to our people. So, and those are very, very genuine benefits which we have provided, and it helped them. Again, all of their problems and everything else will be taken care of. They have to just spend time with us, work with us, and help grow the company. So that is how we have created the core team.
Okay. Again, Sid, you've now, of course, fast forwarded the journey and how you built the team. And when you were initially trying to recruit people, I think you found it hard to recruit quality people. I just remember you mentioning once how you tried to get your first few senior people, and that was a story I think you may want to tell, your own clients. Yeah.
Yes. So recruitment in the leadership team, because initially we were hiring freshers and we were building them. And once you hire fresher, they are like clean board. You can write anything and you can make them understand your vision and help them grow their skills as well as company skill as well. But later on, I realized that we need more senior people as well. We were becoming a very bottom heavy company by hiring all the freshers or junior employees. So, but once we have to go into the enterprise projects and bigger companies, we need some experience as well. Yes, we can do the work, but standards, processes, once we grow, there is a lot of problems we faced as well. It was not like everything was very smooth. So when I went into the market to hire senior people, C-level executives, VPs, AVPs, so we were facing a lot of issues because people were not taking us seriously in the sense, if I am offering someone, they were not sure whether I can pay their checks or not. Because we were small at that time and we did not have a very good portfolio. So we faced a lot of problems there. But again, how I resolved it is I tried reaching out to my clients that can you help us grow and can you join us full time, right? Whom I know, and they also know us, right? So they know us very well as compared to any other person I go and hire from the market. So again, that strategy also worked out, and I hired around 4 to 5 people from my clients, right? And they are working. They're like, now we are all together working and we are growing the company. So because they know us, they know our qualities, they know our deliveries, and they know that where we are lacking and how can they help us fill that gap and then accelerate our growth. So that was something which I tried and it worked out, and now it is helping us a lot.
Yes. So again, Sid, again, I see that for every problem that you have faced, you have tried to work around a solution and move ahead, build a team, build a product, everything is going together. That's what I get. Now, when you look back on your journey, do you think you would have done something different? Do you think you've achieved? I mean, I don't know whether you had any expectations. Was the way you put it, you just went along the path? Anything that you feel you've fallen short? Any mistakes you will not repeat?
Yeah, so yes, we have done a lot of mistakes, but mistakes are what make you grow and learn. So if you know that you are making a mistake and you can correct it and you can try in different ways, that is how anybody grows. So we have done a lot of mistakes. We took a lot of decisions which were not correct. But again, since my background was not from any business and any corporate experience, so I was trying out things. And the only thing what I focused was being open and transparent to anybody, to our clients, our vendors, our partners, our people, team members, anybody. Try to be open and transparent. The more you will be open and transparent, the more you will get their support in whatever decisions, whether it is right or wrong. But you need to have that support from them as well. Sometimes, let's say, initially when we were working, we were doing something which was not like some breach in the sense data was breached or something was breached, but it was not done intentionally. So we were very open to our client and they understood it. So everything was resolved. Yes, a lot of things were coming up and we were facing problems and we are trying to solve it. It was always a hustle mode. But now we have a lot of experience, and whatever processes we have built, we did not acquire the processes from the market. So we tried to invest our experience in the process and tweak it, which basically is becoming a good thing for us in some sense. Because let's say there is a process of how to deliver a project, right? There is a lot of PMP and project management processes are there. But what experience we had and how we delivered the project, we added that experience in the standard process and tweaked it a bit, which worked for us when, right? And then we trained our people into those processes, and not only project management, but others as well. So we are not just trying to get the processes from the market implemented, we are tweaking it as per our experience and whatever we learned in these years.
Right. So now there are a lot of in our audience. I think there are some questions. We'll get to that. But budding tech entrepreneurs, there are in the audience. Some of them. You already have said your PhD thing, which is good. But any specific suggestions you would like to add?
So suggestions wise, again, if you have that passion, you have to work for it. I mean, anything and everything can be achieved. It has to be constant efforts you have to give. You don't have to give up, because there were a lot of times when I felt that let's take another job, let's close it, because it was becoming too hectic for me initially. In 2012, 13, 14, I used to work like 20 hours, 18 hours. Everything has to be done. Calls, messages, chats, client problems. I was also doing the code and then managing team, recruitment, everything else was there. So yes, you have to be constant, putting constant efforts, and it's very important for you to be honest with whatever you do. Integrity is very important, because even if nobody is looking at you, even if there are so many things, you have to be focused on what you want to achieve. So that is the only thing, and rest is like relations and referrals helps you a lot. Remember, selling to the current clients and their referrals is very easy, rather than acquiring a new logo from the business development stuff or pitching it.
Absolutely.
So always give value to relations and referrals, and it will help you a lot. I mean, it helped me a lot, and that is how we have grown. Mostly, if I talk about all our projects, all our people, all our new hires in terms of VPs and senior leadership, is all through referrals and relations. Is all through referrals and relations. So that is something which I always admire, that always be as honest as possible and do as good as possible.
Yeah, that's I think the heart of the situation. I mean, that's really
Yes.
good advice.
Yes.
So I think the 2 points: relations, reference, and hard work. I'm just telling this for the audience, and if you don't mind, and you can say it in your own words. Even when you first tried to sell in US, at least that's what you have told us. You made 3 attempts. It took you many attempts and many failures, and you overcame each one of them. You just want to speak few words about.
One thing I will add here is what I learned in sales, which you guys can also implement and try it. So when I went to US or any conference or any client, when I was pitching about Successive, so Successive is like we do everything end to end, right? We try to do. So when we go and pitch something to the client or to anybody, any prospect, it should not be like, and this I realized after multiple failed pitches, right? This I realized that rather than pitching everything, you have to pitch only what is needed to the client, right? So there, from there, I got a idea that let's create multiple brands. So we have Successive as the parent company, but we have multiple brands, and that helped in both ways, from the client perspective and from the people perspective as well, right? So when I built brands, so like one of our brand is called Mood Experts, right? So as I told you that we picked up the niche things. So we picked up Node.js in 2011-12. We started working on it. We were doing meetups, we were doing open source contributions. And then I built a brand called Node Experts. And whenever I go and pitch any JS work, I use that brand. So we are Node Experts, we are not Successive. So people were thinking and perceiving us as their experts into Node.js technology and the JavaScript technology. And we were getting a lot of traction through it, right? And similarly, it also helped from the people side that I gave the core group a responsibility that this is your brand. You have to run it. What you need to run a company. I mean, you need people, you need some departments and some funds and all those stuff, right? So sales, HR, accounts, admin, all these will be common. You can hire your own team, run your own brand, create your own website, and run it. So we created multiple brands like Node Experts. We created Piggens.com, which is our creative brand. Then mobility, we have created one brand for it. Then other departments. So everybody started creating all those stuff. Of course, it is an investment and you have to maintain the websites and other stuff, but it gives the people that entrepreneurial spirit and they are running the show. That was part of it. And going into the JS conferences and then pitching to the client from Node Expert helped us getting that JavaScript visibility more. So if I go and talk about Successive, and if anybody will go on the website, they will see a lot of stuff, right? Even they only want the JavaScript people, but or the JavaScript team or the JavaScript expertise, they won't find it very easily on any service company website, right? But when we created a brand called Node Experts, if anybody will go into that brand or the website or the understanding they will get from the website, that this team is only focused on JavaScript and Node.js, right? So we tend to get more requests and leads from that website as compared to Successive. So brand websites helped us a lot.
Oh, that's great input. Brand website. So you have separate websites for the brands.
Yeah, but brands is not like we are creating any domains, right? We are using technology because that is our core. Okay. So we never left our core in any of the things I did. Okay. So JavaScript was one of the core. We created a brand out of it.
Okay, now there are some questions, so I'm going to just rapid fire those questions. We have 7 minutes. So one of the questions is your organization is a service company, right? So you are carrying out projects. So those who are running product companies, do you see any difference how product companies should approach a client? So the question is, someone has said, we do a fairly good job making demos, but success has been sporadic. This is one question. And the other question is whether you raised money to fund your growth or only used revenue to fuel your growth.
So we are completely bootstrapped. We did not raise any money, and I also did not invest anything from my pocket in the whole 10 years. So again, as I said, the best part of IT services is laptop and internet and your mind. So whatever I earned, I invested back, and that is how we have grown. So no investments, we have no debts, we have no loans, nothing. Now coming to service and product, yes, product selling is very different as compared to service. But again, what I will say is rather than selling, you have to find the clients who are in need of it. So you have to create your audience first, that for whom you are creating the product and what problem they are facing and how can you go and resolve that problem for them. And again, as I said, that give them create a freemium model rather than a premium model, because nowadays people wants to use first and then pay. There is a lot of product companies which is coming up that pay later. So you have seen a lot of ads now as well, right? So pay later model, the freemium model, like give them so for free access, let them try it out, see that whether your product is actually solving their problem or not, and then only you can do that. So with services company, I also run a product as well. So again, this is a part of referrals and relations. So one of the client came to us and they asked us that we have to develop this product. So we started working on it. After 1 year, 2 years, the product needs a lot of development, but their funds were done. I mean, they were run out of the funds. So we invested with that company. We have some equity in that, and we are now together working on that product. And from last year, we made it live, and it is now live in 85 countries with 1,500 B2B vendors. We are now going to raise some funds for that as well, Series A funding, because it is going very good. So again, I mean, that was one of the strategies as well. Again, creating sales channels. So services one was one, and then product was one as well. So I tried investing with the client in that product.
Okay, so you try and do demos, or you have to look for new clients, or right now it's all referrals and relations, or you actually look out for new clients and make demos?
We have to look out for new clients as well, but new clients are, again, we try to get it from referrals or relations, or we hire people who have some referrals who can put us into in front of those clients, and then it's all up to us. Let's try and build something for them, give them a value, and then let's see how it goes.
Okay, then there are I think some more questions were there. Just a minute. So one of the questions is on ERP. Just a minute. Where are the questions? Again, yeah, questions and answers. What is the best way to sell a common ERP software? Common ERP. Of course, you said you should sell niche technologies. And there's another question on the same subject. Give me some suggestions to sell software. I put my efforts to sell our ERP nearly 6 months, but I didn't get anyone. So I think you answered it, but maybe you want to just say that.
So again, if I will think about ERP, so my strategy does not work in that ERP thing, because I never, again, as I said, I picked the niche things and I tried selling those things, and I built the expertise onto those. ERP in my mind is not a niche. There are over 100 ERPs now. If you go and do a Google search, you will get over 100 plus ERPs, right? So it's very tough to get into something which is already there. And unless you find a niche into ERP, that what other ERPs are not doing, or what you can add, or maybe rather than selling ERP, can you create connectors? So the product which we built, it's a commerce tool, right? But there are, again, hundreds of commerce tools already present in the market. If we have built a commerce tool addition to it, we may find the same thing. Selling is a problem if you are already into a market which is already there. There are a lot of competitors. So we built a lot of connectors. Rather than creating a commerce tool, we built connectors which can basically sync the commerce tool between each other, which can transfer the data from one commerce tool to another without any hassle, or which can basically automate a lot of backend stuff for a commerce tool. So that product went very well, and we integrated with a lot of commerce tool. And now those commerce tools are putting us as one of their partners in front of their customers that use them to use them as creating connectors to sync the data from your database to this commerce tool or whatever, in migration, all that stuff. So that helped us a lot. So again, I don't know whether how can I help here on this ERP, but for me, if I think from my perspective, ERP, you again need to find out what different you are going to do with your ERP, because there is a lot of ERP already there.
Okay, so now we have just one final question for which you can give a brief answer. Birinder Singh asks, how did you design your pricing strategy? What percentage of margins do you play on? Last question.
So pricing strategies, for the first 5 years, we did not have any pricing strategy, right? And the only thing was how to add a value. Later on, we see that, okay, whatever the client budget was, we try to pitch in that budget, some up and down, and it worked for us. Because also there was one thing in from 2012 to 2015, 16, 18, 17, there was not that high salaries and all, which is nowadays it is, right? So everybody is shopping a lot of offers, asking for more and more hikes and all those stuff. That was not at that time. And also the people whom I hired and the core group was all very much aligned to the vision that rather than making profits and revenues now, we'll make it later. Let's first build the client relations and gain the trust. So rather thinking about margins and revenue initially, we were only focusing on other things. But now we are doing it because that is the need of the hour. If we can't build the client, we can't pay the people. So now we are strategizing everything. And now other people coming up on the board, the C-level executives, VPs, we are doing it as per the market standards and all those stuff. And again, you can only design all your pricing model and percentage or margins and anything else once you get into enterprise clients, when you get into bigger clients. With startups and all, it's very hard to do that. Again, a lot of competition is there. So you have to first find the audience and then gain the trust and then go to the percentage margins and pricing models.
Right, right. So I think we are at 5, and though there's one more question which you have answered. So if you don't have a past relationship, what sales pointer do you give your sales team, you know? So you said relations and reference. Do you have one word to answer that?
If what is the question?
There's
if
no
I
past
don't have...
relationship, right? So the sales guy has to sell and there is no relationship, previous referral or relationship. You answered that question. You can just say it in one.
Again the same pitch. So if you go to any lead, so for example, we get a lot of lead on our website or through other channels, right? But if we don't have any relation with that client, then we have to go do a sales pitch. Sales pitch is basic, that what we have done in the past and what all. And the last, what we tell them is, give us some task, we will do it for you. See whether it works for you or not, whether it's add value or not. First see, and then if it works, then we can find out a way how can we work with each other. So that is the only way. Right. So doing a task, doing a small task before signing anything is the only pitch we do. And it completely worked for us in all the deals, because there is no there is nothing on the client. They don't have to make any advance payment. They don't have to do anything. They are seeing that how we are delivering. Basically, it is a short form of our complete delivery process. In just 2 weeks, we will show that okay, we take the requirement, we build the requirement into user stories, acceptance criteria. Then we build something for you, a very small POC, a very small 1 or 2 modules, and then we show it to them, the demo. So it's basically a short form of the complete process, which we show them, and they get an experience. 2 weeks, it's an investment from our side. I took it as a sales or pre-sales investment. So rather than working on a lot of decks, pre-sales, proposals, and all that is also required. But I try and add this because that is how we are different from other companies.
Thank you, Sid. I think we are running now. We are close to the end of the session. So many citizens are there. And I think you're a fantastic person at understanding marketing aspects. So one on the new sales, you have just said POCs and short forms, POCs and giving them customer experience, going on groups, building your brands, being on multiple panels, ensuring your name is there. Pricing strategy for startups, pricing strategy for experienced people, how you employ people, how you invest. I think there's a lot going on there. It's not simple, but it's, I think, all come together, and you have done very well now. I must say that it's now a 100 crore plus company, and Siddharth has remained grounded, and he continues to contribute even to NASSCOM. He helped a lot in the last Prime Career Fair as well. He gave his support fully, and he's ever ready to help anyone. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I'm sure a lot of us are totally, feeling a lot more inspired, a lot more motivated. Great hearing from you. Thank you.
Thank you. It's an honor for me to be here, and share my experience. And I'm available anytime. My number and email ID is with Jagrati, and she can share it with you guys. If you have any questions, anything I can help, it would be good.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Siddharth, for sharing such an inspiring journey that you have been going through and still going on. Thank you, Uma, for moderating the session so well. If anybody would have some questions, we will leave a email ID in the comment section. You can share your questions there, and we can get it, clarified from Sid or Uma for that matter. So
Yes, yes.
thank you everyone.
Jagrati, I forgot to mention, is all of 35 years. A long way to go.
Yes, exactly. There's a long way. Agreed.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.